Get ready for the dictation. Start. Life in this world is diverse and unique, but what we all have in common is that we live and breathe on the same world together. Our collective actions therefore impact our shared environment, which has shown to contribute towards negative outcomes such as increasing frequencies of climate change related weather patterns and lower quality of environmental health. This in turn has related socio-economic costs to human society. According to a UKAID assessment in 2017, India had lost an average of 170 billion US dollar annually over the 10-year period due to weather and other environment related causes, in large part due to drastic environmental shifts. The variability in rainfall in certain regions of India has contributed to more and more drought prone conditions. At present, approximately one third of the country is either drought prone or under desert areas. This has increased the vulnerability of communities dependent on agriculture and demands on the local water sources, leading to resource mismanagement and geological distress. Subsequently, water is contaminated from overexploitation, and the situation is compounded when communities lack necessary knowledge, infrastructure, and services to maintain environmental health standards related to water safety planning. UNICEF is a key technical partner to the Government of India on water and sanitation programming and is dedicated to supporting the nation's progress towards Sustainable Development Goal 6, universal access to safely managed water and sanitation by 2030. It is working with everyone from the government to local communities to roll out initiatives and frameworks that would tackle various challenges in the spectrum of the stresses on our water sources. Maharashtra has declared drought in 3 of the past 5 years. Almost 70% of the state's geographical area lies in semi-arid region, rendering it vulnerable to water scarcity. This is exacerbated by further drought. These impacted areas therefore experience wide year-to-year fluctuations in agricultural production and incomes and have a relatively high incidence of poverty, leading to them being left behind and experience poor agricultural yield. UNICEF Maharashtra, with the support of the state's Disaster Management, Relief and Rehabilitation Department in 2015-16, carried out a rapid assessment to measure the impact of current drought and drought-like situations and the related consequences and coping mechanism for communities, particularly children and women in the Marathwada region. It was found that almost half of the villages had only one source of water for drinking and other domestic purposes. 27% of the farmers did not have any water management technique, and that during lean periods of the year 84% of the families faced irrigation challenges. Women were disproportionately affected by water scarcity. This has tripled the burden of women and girls in terms of household tasks and they travel further to fetch water, fuel, fodder, and find casual work. This in turn worsens their sanitation, hygiene, and nutritional outcomes, all of which come with alarming multi-generational implications. Overall, the lack of community level management posed challenges for curbing exploitation and maladministration. Therefore, UNICEF, along with implementation partners, worked with the government of Maharashtra to implement a pilot addressing resilience within the affected communities against these very issues. Women-led water sanitation hygiene and resilient practices project or W Sharp was implemented in 2018 to test the effectiveness of risk-informed planning driven by local contexts and communities such as those of Marathwada, especially during lean periods March to June when water availability is at an all-time low. The pilot sought to enhance water, livelihood and food security across 100 villages encompassing 10,000 families in 2 drought-prone blocks of Maharashtra. To build climate resilient practices within the most vulnerable groups, W Sharp targeted women's and vulnerable families' participation as a core aspect of the project. The project took an innovative approach by positioning women as key change agents who charged forward in mobilizing their communities, local bodies, and government institutions for shared causes. It ultimately provided an enabling environment for marginalized women to learn coping strategies for the multitude of increasing uncertainties. Stop.